Frozen Fudgies can't be beat. I definitely shouldn't start a video by singing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is G.I. Joe Classified Quick Kick, and he will be the subject of today's review. Okay, the way I do reviews is this. First, I'm going to look at his detail and his sculpt. Second, I'm going to check out his accessories. Third, I'm going to point out any articulation that's really good or really bad in the context of the G.I. Joe Classified line. Fourth, I'm going to talk about how he works as far as toy photography is concerned. Fifth, I'm going to size him up with a whole lot of different figures from a whole lot of different lines that'll all have affiliate links in the video description below. Because consuming is half the battle. Six, I'll give you my final thoughts, and then we can all take the rest of the day to enjoy some Frozen Fudgie bars. Quick Kick was originally part of the class of 1985, which I don't think most will argue when I say definitely, easily, the best class ever of G.I. Joe. Come on, you knew I was going to say that. 85 is when Flint came out. Quick Kick, along with a whole mess of other Joes, was unceremoniously killed by a crazed Saw Viper in the G.I. Joe Marvel Comics continuity. Clearly, he got better. Right off the bat, I want to point out the shoulders on Quick Kick here. It's a rare miss with the classified team, I think, as far as sculpt is concerned. One, they're really thin compared to the rest of him, so I feel like they should stick out a little bit more. But two, if they're not going to stick out a little bit more, it seems like the arm should be higher, or at least have the shoulder pop up a little more too, be rounded up in that area. Because right now, it just looks wrong. Like, it looks really disproportionately off, having the shoulder be that small. Aside from that, I think we've got a pretty good looking figure. I love the, I don't know, what do you call it, a bandolier, the piece holding the stars in place there. I think that looks good. Obviously, the sculpt on the rest of the figure looks good. Like I say, it's unusual that the classified team has something that just doesn't look right, like those shoulders, to me anyway. Now, as I move down, got some detail, even painted belt buckle, that's rad. G.I. Joe, man, they don't cheap out so much. I mean, to my eye anyway, at least the figures I've got. He's got his holders for nunchucks back there, which are of course frightening to anyone who had the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Michelangelo as a kid. He has some nice detail going on the side of his pants there. I think that looks really cool. Then of course we've got the pants that are all wrinkly and just look right. I'm a fan. And of course we've got the uncovered ankles, the feet, the Quick Kick style feet that make him kick quickly. And I feel as though I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up how well I think they did for the paint on the face. I think that's looking really good. They got the eyeballs just right. The eyebrows look good. The hair looks good. The little paint on his bandana, maybe? That's not really a bandana. What am I thinking there? What's the word? Help me out in the comments. The hair's looking good. It's looking really well sculpted. Check that. I mean, they did a great job on this figure, which is hard to do when a figure is so seemingly simple. That seems to be one of the toughest things out there to do. The only thing that really throws me off when it comes to the detail on this bad boy are those shoulders. And now, a word from our sponsor. I don't have a sponsor. Quick Kick, like many figures, came with quite a few accessories. Here's the backpack, which at first threw me off because of how red it looked, but the bandolier going across his chest, it kind of makes sense. It's the same color as that, so maybe that would be a natural extension. I'm good with it, but I do think black would have looked better. Aside from that, they did a really good job. I don't know what to say necessarily about this. It's like a throwing star accessory. I think it would have been a little better had they used a clear plastic instead of this translucent blue, but I will say I will never fault the design team for trying something new. That's one of the reasons I really love this line, is all the little newness and details they throw into it. Quick Kick comes with two swords that seem to be nicely painted. Check out the hilt on that bad boy there. And focus. There's a little detail on the swords as well, and just in case that didn't focus all that well. Come on, come on. There we go. That's looking a little better. He also comes with two nunchucks, and I don't know about you, but they kind of scare me because I did have Michelangelo as a kid, and those things just snapped in too. One nice thing about these, though, is they are considerably softer, so they probably won't snap, but they still make me nervous. Quick Kick has two karate chopping hands, which kind of suck to focus on, so hopefully this is working out, but yeah, chop chop. Yep. Quick Kick also comes with a couple fists. This is just one of them, but there's two. A second head. This one with slightly flowing hair. And of course, one of the greatest accessories of all time, the Frozen Fudgie bar. As far as articulation's concerned, where it's especially good or especially bad, there's not really a whole lot to talk about there. I will say on my copy at least, the drop down seemed to work a little bit better than they do on other figures. They seem a little just, I don't know, they don't seem quite so loose, I suppose. And then something that Quick Kick has that a lot of figures don't have is a little bit of swivel here, right down by the ankle, which was easy to do, I suppose, because of how the pants were. So there you go. That's basically what Quick Kick's going on as far as articulation that's a little different than the rest of the Joes. As far as how photogenic Quick Kick is, I would say he's relatively photogenic. He actually has two pairs of hands, which is pretty crazy for G.I. Joe Classified. He has plenty of weapons. He has an extra head. He has the Frozen Fudgie bar, which everybody should love. If you don't, it makes me sad. And then, as far as the rest of him is concerned, he's going to move really well, just because G.I. Joe Classified does that. But I will say he's definitely suffering from a little bit of the shiny. Just a bit. I mean, it's not as bad on Quick Kick as it is on other figures, but something you're going to want to do when you're shooting him is probably use a bit of a diffuser, just because of how shiny things like his pants are there. That's pretty shiny. His chest is pretty shiny as well. So those are just things to think about, little tips, little things that you can mess with when you're shooting your Quick Kick. But overall, great articulation, plenty of accessories. Those extra hands are going to be great for expression. I think as far as toy photography is concerned, we've got a winner. Now it's time to figure out how Quick Kick sizes up with a whole lot of other stuff. Here's how he sizes up with G.I. Joe Classified Scarlett and Sgt Slaughter, the smallest figure I've got from the line and the largest figure I've got from the line. Here he is with Action Force's Kill Switch and Duster. Here's Quick Kick sized up with Marvel Legends Black Widow and The Man. Here's Quick Kick next to Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Ultra, Chun-Li, and Ryu, and I gotta say, he might work well with some Street Fighter shots. And finally, because I can, here's Quick Kick sized up with Jada Toys Chester Cheetah and Lone Coconut's Plunderlings Nomad Tuff. So in the end, what do I think of Quick Kick? I think he's good. I don't think he's as good as the Retro Duke or the Retro Scarlett that are currently out there and available for the people who want him, but I think he's good. The things that hold him back for me are the shoulders being as small as they are and that little bit of extra shine kind of all over him. But if I'm honest, Duke and Scarlett had that going on as well. So if you can get past the shine, and you really can if you're a photographer with a diffuser, and you're okay with really trying to move around those arms so you can hide the fact that the shoulders are so tiny, I think you're going to do fine. I think he's a great looking figure. I'm glad to have him because he's the class of 85, and I love that he came with extra hands, but for me, Those shoulders are gonna drive me crazy. Still, I ain't getting rid of them, and I'm definitely gonna find a way to use them in my shots. And that's what I got for the G.I. Joe Classified Quick Kick action figure. So do me a favor and comment below and let me know, what do you think of the guy? Did you pick him up? Are you a fan? Do you think I'm being nitpicky about the shoulders, or do you think I'm spot on? Just tell me all the Quick Kick things. And with that, everybody, thanks as always for taking the time to check out the video. Massively appreciated. And until next time, have fun and happy snapping. See ya. Is it really weird that I genuinely think that a little tiny candy bar is one of the coolest accessories out there? Do you know how many figures we can use that with? I think if you have one of those Marvel Legends blobs, he needs a Frozen Fudgie bar. I think maybe if you have a figure that's ultra skinny or thin or whatever, that figure needs a Frozen Fudgie bar. I'm thinking maybe if there's a run on Quick Kicks, it's because everybody loves their candy.